Hello, I'm Lesley-Bjerke, one of the information officers with Grande Prairie Regional Emergency Partnership. We're here with Darryl Martin, who is one of our incident commanders in GPREP, Grande Prairie Regional Emergency Partnership, and County of Grande Prairie Reeve, Bob Marshall. And we just want to give an update to residents on the current situation with the Dunes West wildfire. So we're going to ask a couple of the common questions that we are receiving from the public. One of the top ones is, where exactly is the fire burning in the Dunes West wildfire?
The fire itself is burning in the areas between Range Road 65 and around 73 in that area. There's multiple subdivisions in that area that are impacted. Most heavily impacted are Riverview and Spring Creek estates. It's kind of all throughout that area. It's more closer to the river itself, but it does have fingers throughout that area, and at the beginning was a very fast-moving fire. So.
Just to clarify for residents, they're kind of asking, well, why can't I go in this area? Why can't I go in this area if the fire's only there? But the fire is in more places than that.
Yes, in order for us to kind of deal with the fire, build containment and those kind of things, we've had to exclude people. So originally people were asked to evacuate because of the actions of the fire. The fire was rapidly moving and was rather unpredictable. Since then, we have operations going in a number of subdivisions and areas in between the subdivisions, because it's quite an expansive area where this is happening. And so the fire is in multiple pockets. So we've had pockets of fire within subdivisions, and it's spread through the farmland and the woods in that area to other areas. And in order to combat this, we've had to isolate these areas so we can go in and set up equipment, and also for the safety of the residents of that area. The fire is still out of control at this point, even though it appears to be in a low smoke state that most people are talking about. It's out of control, and we need to have that for predominantly everybody's safety.
And you answered it a little bit there. One of the other questions that we are getting, is the fire active? We can't see any flames, so there can't be any risk there. And we just want to explain to the public why that is not true.
The fire is deceptive. It looks calm. Gets into the ground, so there's not a lot of smoke right now. Part of it's wind conditions. We're lucky right now. We're not dealing with the same wind we had before, so it's allowed the fire to kind of lay low a little bit. It's a little cooler than it was, although that temperature is increasing. And so between a combination of those two things and the fact that the fire is now kind of in some places in root balls and different areas like that, it doesn't appear to be as active to people that are standing on the outside looking in. But for those folks that are inside fighting the fire, it's still out of control, and a lot of work for them, for the firefighters that are on the line.
And we definitely appreciate all their work. Another common question, why can't I get photos of my property?
So right now, our efforts have been focused on containing the fire and fighting the fire, and that's really been our focus. In the future, as we do assessments and stuff, damage assessments to the area, we may be able to collect and disseminate photos at that time. We're still working on a process for that, but at this point, our focus has been fire containment and trying to fight the fire.
And then probably the next common question is, why am I not allowed back onto my property at this time?
Again, that's much to do with the activities of the fire and the fire department. So the fire itself, there's areas that are very dangerous because of the fact that the fire is still out of control, and there's other areas where we need access for fire department to put in place sprinkler protection units or other fire guards to help knock down the fire, and having other persons in there who aren't familiar with the operations could impede that work or lead to possible injuries. So predominantly for those reasons. We are looking at wherever possible in the future here, providing an opportunity for people to return to their homes.
Yeah, and I think that's everyone's number one goal, is to get everyone back to their homes safely. Can you just give us a sense of what resources are being used right now? We've heard and thanked many across the province that have answered our call.
Yes. From resources here, initially at the beginning, the fire was very much a County of Grande Prairie and a City of Grande Prairie response, great partnership there. and also obviously with Alberta Forestry or Ag4 and their resources. As we know, agriculture forestry is stretched across the province right now with fires, so this was very much a come-as-you-are fire. And since then, we've been able to have a number of other organizations come and help us, and I think I'd rather have the Reeve answer say thank you to those groups. So.
I just want to reach out to Calgary, Strathmore, Chestermere, Lloydminster, and Smoky River for allowing their firefighters to come and support us. I mean, it's been a huge benefit for them to be here to give our people some relief. They were working there tirelessly on the weekend, so when that support showed up on Monday, it made a huge benefit to give our guys a break, and then we have a better chance of containing this fire.
So Darryl, can you tell us a little bit about the status of utilities within that area?
Sure. It's somewhat of a mixed bag, but we do have utility disruptions of power, water, and gas in the area, and unfortunately some of that gas disruption is actually extended outside of the perimeter of the area of evacuation where we were fighting the fire, just the way the infrastructure is set up. So right now damage assessment teams are going in from those utilities, looking at what needs to be replaced or repaired. So I know a number of power poles have been burnt, and so that requires replacement of the power poles. And then there's a process in place for making sure that everything is safe before the lines are energized. Same thing for loss of gas, for the gas infrastructure. There's a process that the utility goes through to make sure that the line is safe first, and then before they recharge the line again. And even lastly, the water lines are being actually flushed as we speak right now as part of an initial step to try and get people back in there, so that any folks that are on not well water but water through Aquaterra, that they have that is ready to go as fast as we can. So crews are already working on that.
Great. So local farmers in the area, we put out the call to start disking. Can you tell us a little bit more about that initiative?
Sure. The farmers wanted to be out farming, disking and seeding, and it's also a great fire break for us. So wherever possible in those exclusion zones, we were trying to let them back in to go and be able to do that. That helps us provide a fire break. So anytime we can reduce those grass fibers and everything else that's out there, it allows us to help stop the movement of the fire in some respects. So every little bit helps, and so also we know that this is their livelihood, and so it's a win-win for everybody.
So Reeve Marshall, can you tell us a little bit about the donations? Who do people contact? Everyone wants to help, of course, in these times, and it's appreciated, and we have some official channels to go through.
Yeah, we do. So donations for food and other household items are accepted by the Grande Prairie Friendship Centre. Also, financial donations can be made through Northwestern Alberta Emergency Response Fund, through the Community Foundation of Northwest Alberta at buildingtomorrowtoday.com. Residents and businesses looking to volunteer time, resources, or equipment can sign up at gprep.ca. And we are very thankful for all the support that we've had from the community and the outpouring of resources that people want to give. It's just been tremendous.
One more question, more on the operations side. We're hearing some great stories about animals, pets, our crews, when they can go in now or going in. Temporary access is being provided. Can you tell me just a little bit more about that, Darryl?
Sure. There's a couple stories there. I'll start off with the formal program that the county had in place prior to the fire related to large animal rescue. It was a voluntary program that many folks in the area, producers and recreational owners, were a part of, and it allows for the collection of data around and planning around what you have on your farm or your acreage, and marries up your needs with those folks that are willing to come and help remove your stock or your horse or whatever it is, and help you get them off site. And then there's even areas that have offering pasture space. So that was the formal piece. The informal piece, or I guess The next piece is we're doing a lot of help with cats and ducks and dogs and all of that kind of stuff. We're going in and helping family members go in and get those cats that weren't available when they left, and the same for the dogs. And so wherever possible, we want to help people reunite with their pets, even if it's a goat. I'll leave it at that.
So just a final note, anything that you would, Reeve Marshall, would like to say to the community themselves?
Yeah, I would. I think Director Martin talked about it, but I just want to reiterate, this is like a sleeping giant out there. On the weekend it roared its ugly head to life, but right now with the weather conditions, we've had a chance to get things kind of contained somewhat and get ahead of some things, but it is a sleeping giant. If the weather conditions change, then we could be back into the similar situation we were on the weekend. And our people in logistics and our firefighting crews are doing everything we can to look at every contingency so that we are prepared for this. So please give us whatever support you can and be patient with us. This is not over yet, not by any stretch. We need rain. That's the only thing that's really going to knock this down. So please be understanding.
Thanks, Reeve Marshall. Thank you, Incident Commander Martin. GPREP does provide scheduled updates. You can find them on gprep.ca. You can also go to the county's website and subscribe for our media releases, so you'll get them instantaneously to your inbox, as well on the city's social media channels and the county's social media channels as well. Updates are being shared. And as always, be sure that you do have Alberta Emergency Alert as well on any of your devices. Thanks, everyone.